been opening my mind to new forms of information. I've purposely been watching videos that I wouldn't necessarily naturally want to click on. Okay, I've been purposely trying to seek out information that contradicts my existing worldview. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I've been quote unquote preaching a lot. I am a bit of a preacher. I definitely do have a message that I'm trying to share with this world, but I'm not somebody who doesn't live and doesn't walk the walk that I talk. You know, I've been encouraging my followers, encouraging you guys who follow me on my YouTube journey to think differently. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I also need to be opening myself up to new ideas. Even if I still remain aligned to my existing worldview, it's always good just to hear different perspectives. I think if you're truly passionate about a cause, then you should be investigating different perspectives on a journey down a rabbit hole. I have been watching these Christian YouTubers who are not actually talking about religion, they're talking about AI, talking about politics, highlighting the spiritual nature of things, the spiritual component in AI, the spiritual component in Hollywood, the spiritual component in Diddy, trials. And I'm now at a place where I guess some Christians would say that I'm connected more to the faith rather than religion as an ideology and religion as a dogma. Christianity as this ideology definitely has a political element. I'm now connecting to the beliefs and feeling very aligned to some of the beliefs based on what I'm hearing. And I'll be honest, there was a bit of resistance to even me accepting, okay, I'm actually starting to kind of connect to Christian values. I felt like I was losing a part of my identity by saying I'm open to Christianity. I'm becoming more open to Christianity. And I just wanted to share that because when you do open yourself to new information and you agree with it, there is going to be resistance because your identity that is tied with your existing worldviews doesn't want to die. Your identity that you protect with the ego doesn't want to let go from what it knows. It's very scary to step into the unknown. It's very scary to think, wow, okay, Naomi, you've made this whole identity that's earning you money now based on indigenous values, and now you're questioning indigenous values. Now you're saying, I don't know if I want to necessarily open myself up spiritually in indigenous rituals in the way that I was before, because I'm scared that actually maybe it's demons, that I'm praying to these deities that God deemed as evil. I've always been a free thinker, I've always been an open thinker, and that's not going to change. And in order to actually be a free thinker and evolve, you have to talk to different people. You can't stay in your little bubble where everybody is just parroting the same things as you. Even if people disagree with you, there's always going to be, I would argue, a thread of commonality because we're all human. We all bleed the same, you know? And it's sad that these things like religion and politics divide us. It's sad. So I guess with this video, I'm really just encouraging us to be open-minded and actively seek out alternate information. Everybody has a viewpoint that they truly believe in, and it's about understanding why they believe in it. You don't have to agree with the viewpoint, but we can try to understand why. So for example, even with what's happening in Palestine, and you guys know that in most of my videos I'm always going to bring it back to Palestine, just because I think this is the most pressing political and moral issue of my life. And when I say my life, like my generation, I think Palestine has really awoken people up. Again, I learned about Palestine when I was doing my race and resistance masters, so back in 2015, and it has always left such sadness in a way. I don't know, of course I feel sad about everything, but there's just something extremely sad about what is happening. Maybe because I come from a Catholic background, and you know, I was brought up on seeing the Holy Land as this very special place. You know, this is where Jesus came from. Jesus was a Palestinian, and to see what is happening is horrible. I feel like my words aren't doing it justice, but you guys know what I mean. But going back to Zionism, and for me, I feel that why Zionists are so messed up comes from trauma. Taking into account that most of Israel's population, if you do DNA tests on Israelis, a lot of them do come from Europe. A lot of them are Holocaust survivors. And we have to ask ourselves, what has that trauma done? There's a branch of science called epigenetics that discusses how trauma can be carried on 14 generations. What has that done? What has that done? What is that going to do to Palestinians in the future? From my perspective, coming as somebody who is black and has Indigenous American and really connects with the ancestral trauma on, you know, the Caribbean side of my family, the Nigerian side of my family, the Indigenous American, I have actively tried to heal the ancestral trauma that has been passed down to me, the generational demons. It's sad. Trauma is really rotting the world, which is why social justice and wellness for me are so interlinked, they're so connected. We can't heal the world unless we heal ourselves. And so I want to encourage healing, and healing can be found in so many different ways, but you have to take the steps. I don't think healing finds you, you have to find healing. And something that I have observed is that there are a lot of people, because of trauma, are not trying to actively seek healing, because it's like they're stuck, they're numb. But if you know deep down that there is a better life for you, if you know deep down that this life you're living, this mentality you have, there's something wrong, it's not easy, but you have to make that first jump. You have to make that first step. You have to take yourself out of your comfort zone. You should always try, even if you do something and you don't find your desired result, keep doing it. Maybe take a break before you try again. Having this conversation with my friend who said, oh, I don't want to go for therapy because I tried it years ago and it didn't really work. I said to him, that's like me saying, I had a shower 6 years ago and I've never taken a shower again because I didn't like it. And also I feel like the shower cleans me then, and yeah, I don't need to shower again. Healing is a lifestyle, especially when you're in a world that actively is harming you every single day through the music, through the things we watch, the things we consume, the things we eat, the things we see. I could go on and on and on how, yeah, the eyes and the ears are really windows to the soul. And if you watch Candace Owens, you will understand that. You will understand that there's been a lot of money in government programs that we don't view as government programs. We just see it as life, society. But there's definitely an agenda in order to control humans, because order is how things, rules, people exist. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with order, there's nothing wrong with having rules in place. We do need some rules. We just of course have to ask ourselves, who made the rules, and did they make the rules for people like us? Did they make the rules with our happiness and well-being in mind, or did they make the rules because of corruption, to maintain corruption, to maintain wealth in a few privileged families?